Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
FightSaga.com presents WAWR Week Radio Chats with boxing scribe Joseph Herron.
Guys, welcome. Happy Tuesday to all of you. And guys, I'm sorry, but we had to reschedule our Real Boxing with Coach Ronnie Shields segment that usually takes place every Tuesday evening. But because Ronnie was, because of scheduling issues, we had to reschedule his show for tomorrow night. So guys, it's going to be at his usual time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, but it's going to be tomorrow evening instead. And guys, stay tuned for that because he has a lot to say on the bombshell dropped by Eddie Hearn saying that, we don't have any plans to step aside for Usyk, Tyson Fury, right? So we're going to get his thoughts on all of that. I already have them, but I promised him I wouldn't let the cat out of the bag until he joins us tomorrow evening. How do you like that, guys? But it wouldn't be an episode of WAWR Week Radio Chats without my very dear friend, Big Frank by the Bay.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm good. Just another week filled with boxing news and gossip. So, yeah.
Well, I see you've been busy on Twitter too, my friend.
Oh, yeah, man. You know, I love it. I love it because I see what the fans are thinking.
You're one of the few who genuinely love it.
Yeah. I genuinely love the sport of boxing. I love all the fighters from every region. I try to do my best to follow each and every division as much as I can. And I know you don't like it, but sometimes I follow the women. So, to me, a love of the sport is, like when I love, football, I get all the magazines, Pro Football Focus. I follow everything.
Oh, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. But look, when you're talking about fan speak and gossip, right, on Twitter especially, Facebook, those groups can get a little insane as well. But that's like delving into the realm of political speak as well. And that's why I can't stand it for the life of me. And I absolutely refuse to argue with the knuckleheads online. But hey, man. You're doing a great job doing it, though.
Those are the masses. I just want to, I don't ever want to come across as a pundit, as an expert, as a know-it-all. I know just as much as probably everybody, but I try to get more, be more knowledgeable, and so I feel like I'm educating. That sounds pontificating.
Look, that's the biggest faux pas in all of this, and this is why I fail to engage. Like I refuse to engage, because ask any guy who is involved with political, being a political pundit or a zealot these days, and they have that same attitude. And Frank, no offense, brother, but how many minds do you think you've actually changed online since taking up this crusade?
I honestly, I have a kind of a following. I gained at least 50 followers just from all those discussions.
Well, those are like-minded individuals. That wasn't my question.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You mean, did I change those guys' opinions?
No. No, and you're not going to, brother. In fact, you pushed them even further the other way.
Well, imagine...
Which is probably your modus operandi to begin with, isn't it?
No, it's just to Well, no, it's like shining a light. I'm just shining a light on certain things, and then an educated person will want to know more. So it basically, it's like it's like a kid. I can't make a kid stop doing drugs, but I can make him want to choose the right path.
You know what, brother? That does make sense in kind of a strange way. But I tell you what, more power to you, brother. You're doing a great job on there, and it makes for very entertaining reading.
Yeah, I'm not always right. I'm not, and sometimes I find myself making, I make mistakes.
And it's opinionated, right? And once again, it's just all good fun if you guys have the objective that you still love boxing.
Yeah.
And once again, like I always say on this show, there are no right or wrong answers until they both step in the ring. And when it's a matchup like that, yes. But as of late, it doesn't look like any of these matchups are going to step in the ring. And once again, we always say the truth always reveals itself in time, with the exception of boxing. But I tell you what, let's give a shout out to some of our very dear friends in the chat. And guys, thank you for celebrating my birthday with me, because yes, my birthday officially isn't until Thursday the 17th, and I'll be turning yeah. So but thank you. I'm celebrating it today. I can't celebrate it tomorrow, and I'll be off the air with my honey on Thursday night, so my actual birthday date. So I'm celebrating it all here with my very dear friends, our extended family members of WAWR Week Radio. And guys, I couldn't ask for a better celebration than spending time with you guys. So here's a shout out to my dear friend, John McSmith. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you and yes, I'm doing very well on this beautiful evening. I also want to give a shout out to my brother, Sid UK. Salute to you, man. Thank you for always being here, sir. And also my brother, Tycho TV. Salute to you, brother. Thank you for always being a valued WAWR Week Radio extended family member, my friend. Also, Will Boxing. Salute, Joseph. Have you heard anything on Virgil's next move? Honestly, oh, boy.
That doesn't sound good.
Look, this has become a real problem in boxing. And we've stated this on several shows, right? And piracy obviously being the biggest issue. It affects everything. It affects everyone's money. It affects how frequently these guys actually fight. It affects the promoter's dependency on the big network licensing fee as well as the big casino site fee, right? Mm-hmm. They're more reliant on those because they can't depend on ratings or pay-per-view sales for their money any further. They just can't depend on those. So I'll tell you what, we'll go into that a little bit more, but thank you for bringing that up because yes, and Frank, please don't let me forget because you know how I get, man, especially on my birthday with that sweet amber flowing, right?
Hey, we love it. Be you.
So please don't let me forget about bringing up Virgil Ortiz.
Okay, right? Noted.
And want to give a shout out to my brother Peter Von Arks. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening,
big
Joseph
balls.
And Frank.
That's
Happy
a guy
birthday
with big
to
balls.
You. No, brother. Thank you so much, my friend. And hey, man, enjoyed listening to your guitar playing once again on Jem's channel the other weekend. That was brilliant. Good stuff, brother. So I'm going to let you choose, Frank. The topics du jour, right?
Yes.
Crawford's latest interview on the fine Katie Abdo show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that one, or like I said, Eddie Hearn's latest thoughts on him and his client, Filip Ergovic, Coach Ronnie's fighter, potentially standing in the way of progress for undisputed unification, right? In the heavyweight division, right? And then last but definitely not least, Gervonta Davis's latest tweet, basically stating what we've already told you, that he's fighting on January 7th, but he said Washington, D.C. And what does that tell us, Frank?
We already know. Yeah, it's not a good sign.
Well, we'll talk about that, and will he even make it to that date?
Okay, good point.
Okay, will he even make it to that date? We'll talk all about that. Chris says, is Tank fighting Hector Garcia? Well, we'll talk all about that when we discuss Tank Davis. Also want to give a shout out to my brother Jesus M. Thank you for joining us, sir. Saludos to you, brother. Thank you for helping me celebrate my birthday. And on that note, guys, here's the first shot down the hatch, at least since we've been live. Anyway, here's the first shot on live radio. So here's to you, Frank. Here's to everyone in the chat. And thank you guys for being here. Love you. Love you all.
We love you too, man.
Thank you, my brother. I tell you what, so you pick it, Frank. Which topic is going to be the first that we discuss?
I want to nip this bud, nip it in the bud. That's what that'll be our first segment.
Oh, goodness gracious. So here it is, guys. Oh, boy. Yep, Bud Crawford, boy, he's making the rounds now, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to promote that BLK Prime. And so he's been on a bunch of different platforms, even DAZN, basically spewing all of the same. Well, at least he's being consistently inconsistent. How's that?
That's a good analysis. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so here it is. And once again, it's promoting his December 10th date with David Avanesian on BLM Prime. Oh, wait a minute. BLK Prime. Yeah. At the CHI Health Center in Omaha, Nebraska. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Tickets are already on sale, guys. If you're interested in going, just check out your latest Groupon offer. I heard that they're less than $100. So go check it out. And once again, guys, if you didn't know, this is traditionally what happens, right? When you're at a mainstream venue, it's not the casino's event. That's why you see these tickets much, much cheaper than most casino fights, right? They have to make it reasonable for most mainstream and casual participants to attend, right? So you're going to see tickets very reasonably priced. They want a full house. So guys, don't expect them to make huge money on the site fee. At most, they may make maybe $300,000 or $400,000. Okay, maybe, which should actually pay for the undercard. That's it. Okay, and you're not going to see a great one once again because the tickets are reasonably priced, and they don't have the benefit of a huge licensing fee. All of the money is already going into the main event, right, from BLK Prime. So that's the story on this. So here's what he had to say when talked about. Katie Abdo is very clear in saying, Terrence, does this mean that the Spence fight is over and done with? There's no chance of it happening. And he said this, quote, "There's always life in the fight, but things have to be fair and they have to be right. I feel if this is the fight they want to have, meaning the fans, and they want to please the fans and they want to make things right, of course it can happen. You can't become number one in any division without having that lineal title. There's the lineal champion, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on down. If you look at it, it's, that's inaudible. I can't even read that, man. It doesn't make any sense. So let's move up. Mm-hmm. He says, quote, that lineal belt overrides all the other belts, which is the ring. And I agree with him. Why do you think it's free? Oh, geez, Terrence. You, the people's champ. We're going to give you a free belt. You earned this. All the other belts you've got to pay for. Oh, chingao, dude. He says, it's all about money. We're prize fighters. Let's fight for this prize. I feel like I'm still at the top of my game, and I really wanted that Errol Spence fight just to prove a point. I really don't need boxing. I'm getting a big lump sum at once for fighting Avanesian, doing something that you love to do. People say he's only fighting once a year. He says, well, I'm not hurting. If I was hurting, I'd have to take this, I'd have to take that, but I'm comfortable and I'm blessed. I just want to be in control of my own career and have a seat at the table and be aware of what's going on in my career. I'm able to do things that I wasn't able to do at top rank. I'm able to see things that I wasn't able to see at top rank. End quote. Now, obviously, I omitted the part where he started listing his accolades, right?
Right.
For good reason. Because, come on, Ricky Burns, a signature fight. Julius Ondango, a signature fight. Really?
Yeah, that's what he thinks.
Jeff Horn, a signature fight. Okay, so we're not going to talk about that. But I tell you what, if anyone would like to join us, and once again, we have some more people coming in, and thank you guys for celebrating my birthday with me. Really means a lot to me. I'm going to drop the link here, guys, if you guys want to join us. But Frank?
Yes.
When you hear Crawford talk about, and I'm going to repeat this one more time, quote, I just want to be in control of my own career and have a seat at the table and be aware of what's going on in my career. I'm able to do things that I wasn't able to do at Top Rank. I'm able to see things that I wasn't able to see at Top Rank. End quote. What are your thoughts, my friend?
That sounds all good. I mean, I don't know why anybody would not want a fighter to be able to have those opportunities. But at the same time, we didn't get the fight that we wanted. I've told you this. I speak
Frank,
from a fan.
This is the thing that I take great exception to. Guess what, Terrence? You could have had all of that transparency if you just talked to your damn promoter. They're going to tell you everything if you just ask them the right questions. Brother, what the hell's the matter with you? You were with the best promoter on the earth. Guys, right? They've developed pretty much the biggest stars of the sport over the last 40 years. Okay? So what's the problem? You ask Bob, he's going to tell you. You ask Todd DeBuff, he's going to tell you. You ask Bruce, you ask Brad, they're going to tell you. Why couldn't you do that before? Frank, does that make any sense at all?
And since day one, none of this has ever made sense to me. And maybe it's my lack of understanding, but I'm not apt to believe either side, either the Bud side or the Spence side. It just, I always take things down the middle. So if things don't make sense, maybe that's because it really doesn't. It's not supposed to.
Jeez, Chingao, brother. Only in boxing, my friend. Only in boxing. Before we introduce our latest guest, and he's a very dear friend of mine, and he does such great work, man. Well, let's introduce him first. This is a dear friend of mine, JR from the Boxing Source. James, how are you doing tonight, brother? And thank you for hanging with me on my birthday, my friend.
Yeah, happy birthday there, Joseph.
Thank you, brother. And I tell you what were your thoughts when you heard the latest from Bud Crawford making the rounds on the beautiful and lovely Kate Abdo show?
Oh, man. I mean, I've read the comments. I ain't watched the video yet. But it's more of, Crawford being Crawford, listen to, what he was talking with, when he was talking with Brian Custer, and he was like, yeah, I want the fight. No, I don't want the fight. No, I don't need the fight. Well, which one is it? A lot of the stuff that he says just doesn't make sense. And, I mean, if he wanted the fight, then we would have had the fight made. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, look, man, I think, unfortunately, I think he's subscribing to the Floyd Mayweather ideology of currency before legacy, right? You know what? And honestly, that's the case with most fighters these days. And it's very unfortunate for the fans because the fans ultimately lose out. Right? So before we move forward, I want to give a shout out to my brother CB3. Thank you for hanging with us, my friend. And I also want to give a shout out to my brother Khalid. Happy birthday, Joseph. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Also want to give a shout out for Bruce, Gas Boxing, Jazz, and more. Salute, Joseph. Salute to you guys. And if you haven't already, please go subscribe to our brother Bruce. He does great stuff over there. I'll tell you what. Also, hold on. Hold on. Chingao. Hold on. Something happened to my tab here. Here it is. Khalid says, Kate Abdo asked all the right questions. That was a great interview. And she's a very, very proficient interviewer. That's it. Yeah. But guys, it's once again, it's the same stuff that we're getting from Terrence Crawford, the walking contradiction. Once again, and I outlined it the last time I was on the air on War Week Radio Chats, what kiboshed this entire deal. It was him being offered $25 million or $50 million guaranteed purse for the main event for him and Errol Spence, right? 50-50. That's what did this in. That and him not wanting to give options to Al Heyman. Once again, you're expecting a big guarantee. Al Heyman and Steven Espinosa, they're furnishing the TV date, and he's furnishing his fighter, Errol Spence Jr., yet you don't want to give Al Heyman options on your next several TV dates. You want to be a free agent despite not being a big ticket seller. When does that happen? Guys, and Terrence, I know you want to be your own boss, brother, but it never ends well if you can't sell tickets, if you can't sell pay-per-views. You've got no leverage in demanding that kind of bullshit, right? Okay, so he wants a big guarantee. He wants the big fight with Errol Spence Jr. He wants a one-off, but he's got no leverage. He doesn't bring Canelo numbers to the table. Brother, it never ends well for someone who can't draw. Just ask Mikey Garcia. Right? Am I wrong in saying any of this, Frank?
No, the numbers and the stats don't lie. The numbers support your argument.
Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame. So now he's claiming that, and let me scroll back up in the article so I can say this intelligently, right? Or specifically. Nothing intelligent about this. He says, quote, there's always life in the fight, but things have to be fair and they have to be right. I feel if this is the fight they want, and once again, I misspoke earlier, and this is talking Heyman and Spence. If this is the fight they want to have, and they want to please the fans, and they want to make things right, of course it can happen. Okay, James, what is the probability of this happening when his fight is a complete pay-per-view dud and he makes a ton of guaranteed cash? Is it going to make dealing with him any easier?
No. It's very simple. No. It just goes all the way back to where they were at the beginning of this year. That's all it does.
That's it, guys. That's it. And look, this is really bad. Look, and I love Bud Crawford as a fighter. You know, truth be told, before he actually signed that terrible lawsuit against Bob Arum and Top Rank Inc., he was, in fact, one of my favorite fighters because he seemingly never avoided any of the smoke. In fact, upon speaking with Bruce Trampler, he was the first one to tell you that Bud Crawford, he never turned down any assignments. In fact, that's how he made his bones in this business. By accepting an offer that Mikey Garcia turned down against Yuriorkis Gamboa. And before that, fighting the guy on last minute or 2 weeks notice, Bradis Prescott, one of the hardest punches at 140. The guy who knocked out Amir Khan in one round. He was already on the undercard. The non-televised portion, they said, hey, we know you're campaigning at 35, but hey, can you actually, on 2 weeks notice, would you be willing to fight on HBO against Bradis Prescott? And he said, where do I sign? That's how he made his bones in this business. And now, well, he wants to be the big boss? Well, to shed some more light on what's really going on, guys. And we've been telling you this for the last several months. This is what Showtime Sean Porter had to say about it on his Twitter feed. He said this: I believe, meaning I could be dead wrong, but I believe most fighters aren't respected once they get to, quote unquote, the table. So he needs to not only come with his A game, and that may mean getting some representation that is respected at the table, end quote. That was care of Showtime Sean Porter. And guess what, guys? He's right on the damn money. He's right on the money. And I've said this the entire time. If he had just, and once again, are you better than Manny Pacquiao? Because Manny Pacquiao and Sean Gibbons, they were very happy to give Al Heyman options on his next 2 fights to work with PBC. And he brought a lot more to the table than Terrence Crawford. And why? Because that's the business. If you want the TV date and you want the opponent, then you have to give options to a promoter that has the TV dates, that can give you that big desired guaranteed purse. Okay? Devin Haney just did it. He understood he wasn't going to get that fight against George Kambosos unless he gave top-rank options on his next 3 fights. And why? Because he's got no leverage. He's a product of receiving inflated purses also. He's not a big ticket seller. He's not a big ratings draw. So guess what? You've got to pay the fiddler, brother. Come on. Yeah. How is that difficult to understand? Frank,
it's not,
your thoughts, brother.
It's not, Joseph. It's just people want to create a certain narrative and spread whatever they want you to believe. But, I mean, everything you said makes sense. If it's good enough for Manny Pacquiao, why isn't it good enough for him?
Well, look, and this is the thing that's really pissing me off, because you see lesser channels, right, that don't know feces about the business, consistently saying, "Hey, I ain't never seen no fight of this nature being held without a guaranteed purse. What's up, bro?" Okay, well, once again, guys, they haven't pieced this together, and you know why? Because they don't know shit about the business. And so here it is. I'm going to spell it out one more time for you. If both parties are so far apart on their guaranteed purse, either offer or demand, how's the only way you're going to be able to continue with this, James? How is the only way you're going to be able to continue with negotiations? From what I was told, and once again, you already know who I heard this from, right? According to Steven Espinosa. He stated this: we were so far apart on what we were willing to offer as a guaranteed purse compared to Terrence Crawford's unreasonable demand. We had no choice but to say, hey, look, so you don't think we're trying to job you out of everything? If you think this fight is worth that much, then you know what? Let's just move forward without a guarantee. Then you can get a percentage of everything. The site fee in case there's anything left over, and 35 to 40% of the pay-per-view sales from the first sale to the last. And so after that was agreed upon, Terrence Crawford said, "Oh, wait a minute. I don't know shit about the business or what actually gets spent. What are the..." Because, look, guys, the site fee usually covers not only the undercard, but all of the expenses promoting the event. So Terrence is like, well, how do I know what you're spending that money on? Oh, my gosh. It was like rookie day, brother.
Now, Joseph, now you talked about, YouTube channels or whatever it is, making comments and stuff that they really don't know much or anything about the sport, right? Now,
well, I didn't say anything about the sport. I said anything about the business.
The business.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I was part of a conversation yesterday, and this is through my guys, the Rise podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, Calvin. Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Calvin, Coach Kenny, Senior, Squeeze, AJ. Shout out to them. Yesterday, they had a extensive conversation with a person that is involved with Mr. Terrence Crawford
Mm-hmm.
in Blue Blood. Okay, now they had a little bit of a discussion about a topic between Tank Davis and Chuck Simpson that was completely, separate. But while I was on there with Blue Blood, I made it clear to ask him a question. Okay, I said, when you talked about this whole thing with Terrence Crawford and BOK Prime, now when it came to the negotiations between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, and I brought up the whole thing with the no guarantee. I
Mm-hmm.
asked him directly. I said, "Was that the only offer that was sent to Terrence Crawford?" And he said on record, "Yes." And I just left it at that. I said, "Okay, that's all."
Okay. So repeat those words. Was that the only offer sent to Terrence Crawford?
Terrence Crawford.
So Terrence Crawford is actually being truthful when he says, "Yeah, I was never sent any guaranteed offer because they hadn't agreed upon anything except for the no guarantee moving forward." But you mean to tell me for 3 months they were negotiating? He says, "Oh, we were just going back and forth with the numbers." What numbers are those? Lottery ticket numbers?
Right.
Bingo numbers?
Bingo,
Brother,
yeah, bingo.
obviously it was the guaranteed purse. And once again, I reported on that. July 12th, it was after a month and a half, 2 months of negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
They were at a severe impasse because that's the information that I was told, okay, from someone within the negotiation who was a neutral third party. And you guys already know who that is. So he's actually being truthful when they say, yes, that's the only offer that was sent to us.
Because that's the only offer that they accepted.
That's it. Why would you send over a contract for anything else? If you're negotiating, and once again, Crawford didn't trust his representation because they sucked. They had no experience dealing with any kind of deal of this nature.
Mm-hmm.
So he felt the need to call Uncle Al directly. And he also called Errol Spence directly. It's all about representation in this business. You know that as well as I, James.
Yep.
And even Bob Arum stated, look, if he just had a promoter to deal with him, to deal with this, to help negotiate this, it would have already been done.
Look.
And I've been saying that for the last 6 months, guys.
Look, I had this guy, and I tried to tell him, in order to make this fight, you need me.
Well, look. After the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder deal really went bad for Al Heyman, right? Putting his biggest earner on the shelf for a year, right? Yeah, he wasn't about to do that same deal again with Errol Spence Jr., Bud Crawford, right? And so now is the big chance Terrence Crawford becomes a free agent. All you have to do is give Al Heyman options on your next 2 or 3 fights. And guess what? We would have already seen the fight. No, it would be coming up this Saturday, November 19th, because that was the original projected date.
And I would have been on my way to Las Vegas, Nevada.
And there it is. And there it is. I want to give a shout out before we move forward. I want to give a shout out to my brother, Carl, the Crocodile Hunter Hansen. How you doing, brother? Thank you for helping me celebrate my birthday. And I tell you what, Jesus M has the beat. He says, is Crawford running out of options after Avanesian? Look, and once again, these aren't my words. I will tell you, though, the way it's been told to me, they'll be very surprised if any major network or major promoter chooses to work with Terrence Crawford from this point forward, especially after his pay-per-view tanks. That's it.
Yeah.
Not looking good for Terrence.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I don't think he cares. And once again, I've been told, guys, from two people who are working with this deal in BLK Prime, trying to organize this event, and they've told me that no, he's not getting $10 million.
Thank you.
I don't know who ever believed that. Jeez.
Thank you.
They said it's going to be a progressive deal, but yes, he is getting a healthy guaranteed purse. But yeah, it's not $10 million, guys.
Right. Right.
And look, that's it, guys. But look, this isn't. I don't know why everyone is making so much of this, and I don't know why this is so divided. Once again, the entire, because Spence trusts Al Heyman, right? That's his advisor. Hey, you want me to fight? You talk to this man right here, Al Heyman, right? Okay, because Al Heyman was his representation, Spence's end of the deal was never in question. This isn't difficult to understand, guys. I don't know why there are still people siding with Terrence Crawford in this situation. Okay, his bullshit deal, right, of $50 million guaranteed to stage this main event. Okay, it's a bullshit deal. A bullshit deal. Okay? So anyway, I really don't have any more to say about it. Frank, do you have anything more to say about any of this? Anything that you'd like to add?
No, just that I'm done with both the fighters. Like I don't really care to talk about them or watch any more of their fights. That's just, I mean, I know people think they're good, but I don't know how you can it's like what you're saying with certain channels. How can you condone this? It makes no sense that you, as a boxing channel or a fan, would condone this and want to side with somebody like that.
Once again, that's the problem. That's the problem. And once again, I have respect for every fighter and every promoter, every platform, every network that invests money in these main events, these expensive main events. I have respect for every promoter, and I've worked with, and I've covered fights for every single promoter, right? I have respect for every fighter. Anyone who is brave enough to lace up the gloves, they have my respect, even at the club level, especially at the club level, because they don't get millions to risk their health for our entertainment. They get paid $250 per round. So I have respect for everyone. I don't understand any of these channels who, for some strange reason, have a hard-on for certain platforms and promoters and favor others. I don't get it. James, are they merely pandering to their audience?
Yeah, they are.
That's a healthy yes.
Yeah. Yep. What I did find interesting, in reference to this thing with Crawford, is the recent tweet by Mr. Andre Ward. He kind of he doesn't want to call Crawford into question. And I know that they've been, friends for a long time.
Yep.
Still has Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter. And if Sean Porter could come, to grips and see what's going on and tell it like he told it, then Andre Ward should be able to do the same.
Well, look. And you're taking the opinion of one pain in the ass over the other, right? Because Andre Ward, guys, let's face it. Okay, he was forced into retirement. He's not a big ticket seller, not a big ratings draw. His pay-per-views tanked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a guy who signed with Rock Nation after being nurtured and cultivated by Goose and Tudor Promotions. Okay, and how did he treat them? Guys, you're talking about the opinion of one pain in the ass defending another pain in the ass. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. one non-ticket seller, one non-pay-per-view draw, defending another non-ticket seller and non-pay-per-view draw. Am I shocked at that revelation? No. So this is what he had to say when in retort to, well, Showtime Sean Porter's tweet. He says, "Brother Showtime Sean, I don't agree with your comments about the Crawford-Spence negotiations," basically saying that Crawford is a stubborn ass. And he says, "And how Crawford should conduct himself, I can't respect that. It sounds like you're telling him to shut up and fight. Fighters have worked hard to have that seat at the table." End quote. That's what he said. And so once again, Showtime Sean Porter, his retort was, "Yes, sir, I'll clear that up. What I'm trying to say is, I believe, meaning I could be dead wrong, but most fighters aren't respected once they get to the table. So he needs to come with his A game, and that may mean getting some representation that is respected at the table." Hallelujah. There it is. It's not fucking hard, guys. Pardon my French.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard. With that said, Peter Von Arx has the beat. Crawford versus Avanesian. I'll watch it. It's boxing. Yes, we will. So, Peter, here's the $1 million question. Will you pay for it?
That is the question.
Guys, hold on. I'm pulling out my crystal ball. Hold on, guys. I'm seeing something. I'm seeing a shit ton of piracy on December 10th. That's what I'm seeing. And guess what? You can't blame the fans. You can't blame them. Did they ask for this fight?
Hell no.
Do they have the option of seeing it illegally in HD?
I know I do.
Okay, so that's what you're going to see, guys. And you can't fault the fans of boxing. It's not what they signed up for. And this is coming from long-suffering fans of boxing who have spent decades paying for every big-time event. It's the only sport in existence in which the fans have been expected to foot the bill for every major event. Can you give me another pastime, major pastime, in which fans have been expected to pay for every single event? Major event.
No, not really off the top of
Nope.
my head.
Actual sport. Not
Nope.
an actual sport. No.
Nope. Now, look, if you want to see slap fighting, because no network's willing to pick it up, well, then you're going to have to pay for it out of necessity. But that's not a major pastime. Once again, guys, you can't fault the fans.
Yep.
There lies the dilemma with piracy.
Well,
And I know there are fans who say, hey, you know what? If they give us the fights that we want, yes, I'll be happy to pay for it. And I'm calling you guys out. Bullshit.
Hey, Joseph, I think there's one kind of major, well, some could call it major sporting event where the fans have to pay for every major, sporting event. And that involves, the great pastime of wrestling, brother. That's right.
Oh, yeah. Wrestling.
Hey, brother. Hey, brother. Don't, let me tell you, man. We still get Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
we still get SmackDown, brother. And let me tell you, that is some entertaining, that's some entertaining stuff. And we still get great fights, great matchups, and it's still comedy. I love that stuff. Hold on. Jesus Seb says this, I'm willing to pay for it, but it has to have an excellent undercard. Okay, those days are long gone.
Well, they're long gone.
They're long gone, guys. Because these unreasonable guaranteed purse demands, okay, they take up all of the money, these main events. So that leaves drips and drabs in the preliminary contest. So I will say this for a, here is a, hold on.
Hold on, let me see something.
Okay, here's a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't even know if this is a light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe this is just me being, well, anyway, Imantas Stanionis, he just put out a tweet.
Yeah.
That said, fight of the year pending. Guys, and we've been telling you this, it's not Keith Thurman, okay? It's Spence Stanionis. He was their reserve and their backup plan all along in case one of the fighters got hurt if the Spence Crawford fight was made. He's already accepted step aside twice. Don't expect him to do it a third time. His promoter, Richard Schaefer, has a great relationship with not only Steven Espinosa, but with Al Heyman as well. Guys, put it in the bank. That's the fight that's going to be announced next for Errol Spence Jr. Okay? So there it is. But Real Merc TV, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for celebrating my birthday with me. He says, also, is it December 10th, the Teofimo Lopez card on free ESPN that night too?
Yes,
it is.
And I am hoping that I'm going to be in attendance covering that card because you're going to have a good number of fights or prospects that are going to be in there in the ring. You're going to have Jared Anderson in there. You're going to have David Davis in there. Oh, man, I'm definitely looking forward to that at Madison Square Garden on December 10th. Woo.
That's going to be a tremendous event, guys. And I tell you what, yeah, I'm that event has my full endorsement. Okay, it's on mainstream ESPN on Heisman Trophy winning night, right? So Sid UK has a very interesting question, and he always does. He's always very insightful. And we thank you for being here, and thank you for actually helping me celebrate my birthday, my friend. He says, what would the odds be for Spence versus Stanionis? That's a great question, Frank. If you were a handicapper, where would you set the line, my friend?
I'd have to go probably 4-1, 5-1.
Really? So 4 or 5-1 for Errol Spence, and Stanionis would be...
Would that be a
okay?
plus?
So yeah, so you're saying that basically Errol Spence would be either a minus 400 or a minus 500. Where would you put Stanionis' line?
Shoot, that's so he'd have to be well, he's the underdog. I don't know how they do it sometimes.
So it'd be okay. So from what you're saying, it'd probably be like Dillian White versus Alexander Povetkin, right? A minus 400 for Dillian White, a plus 300 for Imantas Stanionis, right?
Yeah.
So okay. So yeah, in my opinion, this is a very tough fight. Much tougher fight than most people are anticipating, right? So our brother Jesus M says this. He would list Stanionis as a plus 600. Really, that wide, brother? James, where would you actually make the betting line?
I'm thinking it would be around that plus 600. I'm seeing like what am I on? Caesars for example, Dylan White, Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin is plus 800.
Oh, Chigal. So Dillian White, what is it, a minus 1,000?
Minus 1,400.
Minus 1,200? Oh, geez. Yeah, that's about right. Look, and you know Jermaine Franklin, right? This is a guy, and here's the problem with Jermaine Franklin. He's a guy a lot like Prince Charles Martin, where you really don't know what you're going to get on the night. Mm-hmm. He looks great in the gym. He looks tremendous in the gym. But sometimes when he hits the ring, he doesn't look all that spectacular. And I know it's all dependent on opponent, but even when he's supposed to have a layup, sometimes he doesn't look all that great. And that's the way Jermaine Franklin is. Like some nights he'll look like a world beater. Very skilled, good power, good footwork, high ring IQ. And then some nights he looks like a club level guy. Mm. So that's why you're getting that kind of line. And Stanionis, though, this is a guy with a deep amateur background. Mm-hmm. He was a former Ronnie Shields fighter. I got the skinny on it. I saw him up close and personally in the gym. this guy is a badass. This is going to be not an easy fight at the office, and he's going to force Errol Spence to have to move, look like the Errol Spence of old, come forward, close the distance, and try to fight him in a phone booth.
Yep.
Because Montes Stanionis is one of the few fighters who can actually win the jab contest against Errol Spence Jr. That's not easy. This is going to be who, in my opinion, whoever has the most effective jab on the night wins this fight. And I'm not saying it's Spence. This is a much tougher fight than everyone has anticipated.
Absolutely.
So if I had to make the betting line, I would actually list Errol Spence Jr. at a -300 and a Montes Stanionis as a very live +200 or a 2-1 betting underdog.
Oh, that's close.
Ooh, yeah, that's close. If they open on that, the first few bets are going to be coming in for Spence. It would turn from 2-1 to like 3-1 pretty quick.
And that's very insightful, because ultimately, after the initial betting line is made, the fans or the wagers, they determine how the line moves. Very intelligent point, James.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is, Sid UK, and thank you for the well wishes, my friend. I really appreciate it. He says, "Forgot, happy birthday, Joseph. Go easy on the sweet Amber, my brother. I know boxing makes us suffer, but health is true wealth." Well, thank you for saying that, brother. And trust me, yeah, I'm not going to do anything I don't think my body can't handle. So thank you for saying that, my friend. And also, I don't want to become incoherent on this show. And there it is. There it is. So, and Low Clarity says, wise words. Yes, from a wise gentleman indeed. Thank you, Sid UK. Always very insightful. So that your final thoughts on the entire Crawford Spence debacle, Crawford's interview with Katie Abdo, and Frank, you give the final gavel, right?
Okay.
Do you think there's light at the end of the tunnel? Do you see PBC and Spence revisiting this fight next year?
No, I think I'm gonna have to be the bearer of bad news. I mean, that's my opinion, but yeah, no, I think it's over. It's done. They were never. It was my opinion. They were never gonna fight. I'm in the minority in that. I never had faith in it.
James, what say you, my friend?
Well, to quote the words of Mr. Mark Calloway, when it comes to this fight between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, the fans' hopes can rest in
Oh, Mean Mark Calloway. You remember when he was Mean Mark Callis in WCW?
Calloway, yeah.
Mean Mark Callis in WCW.
Yeah.
But yeah, his real name is Mark Calloway, the Undertaker. And I tell you what, man, what an amazing career he had. And you know, I was lucky enough to see him. It was a Tuesday in Texas pay-per-view.
Oh,
right after the Survivor Series. Yep.
Oh.
And so the Survivor Series took place on Sunday. They immediately promoted and I bought tickets a long time ago, just thinking it was going to be a regular WWE event. And I'm like, why is it on Tuesday? And this is back when it was WWF, guys. And so, to my surprise, yeah, it was Tuesday in Texas, and it was going to be The Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan in Texas. And so I was ringside for that. And that was also the return of the Macho Man. Well, when he was the Macho King, Randy Savage, and he was taking on Jake the Snake Roberts. No. The Ultimate Warrior. And on the undercard of that, it was that Rick Rude, Jake the Snake grudge match. You remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when Rick Rude was trying to make the moves on his wife Cheryl Roberts?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also on the card. Also, what was on the card was the Colossal Connection, Andre and Haku defending their belts against the Demolition.
It's a stacked card.
Oh, it was great. Absolutely fantastic. So, yes, and I was a wee lad at that time. I was, well, I wasn't that young. I think I was a senior in high school when that actually came to town. So, or I just graduated. I think I was maybe a freshman in college when that came around. Anyway, it was in the early 90s. Maybe 1990 to be specific, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, those were some good times, brother. I love me some wrestling. And yeah, Peter has the beat.
Oh wait.
Rick Rude was a badass. Yeah, I used to love it, man. I used to love all of those guys. They were so much fun. And do you remember how The Undertaker gave the tombstone to Hulk Hogan? Do you remember that? On
Yep.
that? Okay, so do you remember how that happened? Rick Rude actually came out when he had just signed to WWF, and he distracted the Hulk. Or I'm sorry, why did I say Rick Rude? I'm saying Ric Flair. My apologies. Thank you for correcting me, James. So Ric Flair comes out, right? And I'm there ringside, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Ric Flair. He comes out and distracts Hulk, and that's when The Undertaker walks on the top rope, comes down, gives him a double axe handle, and then gives him the tombstone. And that was all she wrote. He became the champion, then gave the belt to Ric Flair. Woo! But what a great event that was.
When Ric Flair came in there to WWF at the time, he said that he was the real world's champion.
Oh, I love it. Guys, we could talk about this all night, but we are discussing boxing. So your pick, James, what would you like to discuss? I'll let Frank pick the first topic. Now I'm going to let you pick this one, brother. We can talk about Gervonta Davis's latest announcement and development, or we can talk about Eddie Hearn spilling the beans, saying that, well, he and his man, Filip Ergovich, have no intention of stepping aside to allow history to be made in the heavyweight division. Your thoughts? Which one would you like to discuss?
Oh man, I gotta go with my guys over at Upton, man. I'm going with Tank Davis.
Very good. Guys, it was just announced on Gervonta Tank Davis's, well, he spilled the beans. And guys, once again, we already told you he was fighting on January 7th. And we already told you more than likely it wasn't going to be against Ryan last week or 2 weeks ago. Right? So Gervonta Davis's return to the ring appears imminent. The knockout artist announced Tuesday on his verified Instagram account that he will be fighting in January in Washington, D.C. Okay, Davis did not share an exact date, venue, or opponent, and he deleted the post announcing the news soon after. Right? So, first of all, James, the fact that it's, oh boy, hold on. Before we move forward, let me give a shout out to my brother, Sly Tendencies. Thank you for joining us, sir. And thank you for helping me celebrate my birthday, brother. God bless you, man. James, the fact that this is actually being staged in DC, is that a good or bad sign for anyone who is still hanging on to a thin thread of hope that it's going to be Ryan Garcia?
Oh, you could pretty much forget that it's against Ryan Garcia. That ship has been sailed. For that
Hey, hold on. Brother, I need to step away for just a second, but please expound. The floor is yours. You and Frank, please chop it up for just a second.
Okay, so, man, this is like going back for a few weeks. I mean, they, had been trying to work out that particular deal between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, and they were trying to solidify it. It looked like, most of the things had been agreed to. It was just a fact, or it was just a matter of, okay, who's going to cover it? Who's going to broadcast it? And the thing is like, well, the Zone wanted to say that they wanted a piece of it, in the U.S. And the thing about it was, like, Steven Espinoza himself said on camera, was like, wait a minute, Ryan Garcia is a Golden Boy fighter. He's not a DAZN fighter. So why is DAZN trying to get in the way of this particular fight if Ryan Garcia is not exclusively a DAZN fighter? He doesn't have a deal with DAZN. He has a deal with Golden Boy. But DAZN still wanted to say, that they wanted a piece of this fight. So with all of that back and forth going on for weeks and weeks and weeks, he couldn't really solidify a deal between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia to pretty much happen on January 7th because, on, War Week Radio, me and Joseph had discussed this or talked about it, that it would have been Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia on January 7th, and it would have been in, as I say, Las Vegas, Nevada. But since that whole thing went back and forth about solidifying the network deal, they couldn't get that situated in time for both of those guys to have a signed fight. So they needed some type of alternative. Tank Davis said he is fighting in January. He always had the intent on fighting in January. So they had, I think it was 3 locations that were considered. This was told to me by YSM Sports Media. Okay. One was DC, another was Charlotte, and another one was Houston. And so, well, since, DC is, right there, and I don't even know if, personally, I don't even know if I want to have something in Houston at this particular point. DC had to be the choice. So you're going to see Tank Davis in action in Washington, D.C. Of course, it's going to be that Verizon Center, Capital One Arena. I don't know what they're going to be calling.
Yeah, it's the Capital One Arena, home of the Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it'll be that. And, they'll, construct a few things as far as.
Here it is, James. Check it out. Peter has the beat.
Oh.
There it is. Guys,
hey,
look, guys. Why do you think he publicly stated, we're not interested in Shakur Stevenson at this time? Why do you think he did that?
Oh, yeah. Pitbull, yeah.
Come on now, guys. It's going to be Isaac Cruz. Yeah. Okay, it's going to be Isaac Cruz, right? And so here's the big question, Frank, I'm posing to you, and this is the whole reason why I wanted to create this topic. Right. Okay, Davis is facing a December 12th trial date for a November 2020 hit and run incident after a Baltimore judge rejected a plea agreement in September. And I'm going to repeat that one more time. He entered in to try and get a plea agreement. The judge rejected it and said, no, dude, this is going to trial. So my question to you is, Big Frank, is he going to the Who's Gal, or are we going to see him on January 7th?
Oh, I think we'll see him on January 7th. If they're already setting the date, they must know things. I heard the last I read was that it was 4 people involved, and the rest all settled. It was just the woman, the pregnant woman in question, was the one that asked the judge not to just give him this plea bargain. Or the other ones were okay. They had reached an agreement of some sort. There was just one person that hadn't. So if they're going with the fight on January 7th, I'd have to believe that they must have something arranged.
Well, and maybe Chris has some insight here. He says this. Tank court date got pushed back to February. That very well may be the case. Let's hope so. So we get to see a fight, right? Here, our brother Khalid says, I don't get why they putting it in D.C. I always thought Isaac Cruz and Tank would be at Cali or Vegas. Look, if Isaac were a big draw in California, which he's, and admittedly, his market value did increase after that first Tank Davis fight, and then his subsequent performance against Yuriorkis Gamboa, right? Yeah, he's a much bigger commodity at this point, but he's still not the A side. Look, you put Tank Davis anywhere in the DMV area, it's going to sell out. Right? Am I right? Am I right, James?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so once again, guys, take it to the bank. Now, Sid UK has an interesting thought, and I'm going to read this. And this is very, very insightful, and I respect his opinion. But he says this. On this, Espinosa is an idiot. He should share the Ryan Tank fight with DAZN to at least salvage some numbers for Showtime. Now, without Spence fight or Tank fight, Showtime will excuse PBC next year. Well, here's the thing, though, brother. And once again, I'm going to ask this. What does Showtime really have to gain by including DAZN in on this network deal? Look, you've got with Paramount Plus and Showtime now being a bundle for only $11.99. They're up to 66 million subscribers worldwide, not domestic, worldwide and counting. They've combined the two. It's now a bundle. So if you've got 66 million subscribers as your outreach, and the great majority of these are mainstream and casual viewers, right? Compare that to DAZN's less than 8 million worldwide, less than 1 million in the US market. What sense does it make? How does this benefit Showtime if you allow DAZN to be a part of this broadcast? James, does it make any sense at all for Steven Espinosa to even entertain that idea?
That would be foolish of Espinosa.
Like, look, if DAZN really wants to be a part of this, okay, they should actually get some ad space and advertise on this broadcast saying, yeah, we're Ryan Garcia's guy. Why don't you give him some money to put a big DAZN sign on his ass when he fights?
Right?
That would be beneficial for DAZN. Hey, we'll let Showtime pay the licensing fee, but we're going to pay you $250,000 extra dollars to have a big DAZN logo on your trunks. How's that? Or advertise with Showtime Paramount Plus, okay, during the fight. Pay them the money that you were actually going to spend on Ryan Garcia's licensing fee, his guaranteed purse. Pay that to Showtime so you can advertise your product on their 66 million subscribers worldwide. Because otherwise, it doesn't make any sense for Showtime and Espinosa to be a partner with these guys when their outreach, when their reach is substantially less. And I'm just being nice when I say that. Once again, guys, you can't compare 66 million subscribers worldwide to less than 8 million worldwide. Oh, they're in so many different markets. Well, guess what? So is Paramount Plus and Showtime. They're in many more homes than DAZN, who, correct me if I'm wrong, has lost money every single year they've been in business.
Yep.
So what sense does that make? I understand what Sid UK is saying, though, just to make the damn fight. That would be great for the fans, but it's not realistic, guys. It's not realistic.
Nowhere near realistic. Like,
that's the problem.
Why would Showtime make a concession for something that really wasn't on Showtime?
Yeah, they don't need them. They don't need them. And once again, anyone who is carrying around this just absurd narrative that PBC and Showtime are out of money. Once again, guys, you've got 66 million subscribers worldwide, paying $12 a month. You do the math. You do the math.
It sucks we don't get the fight, but
no, it sucks that we don't get the fight. And I understand what Sid UK is saying, but It's just not. It's just not realistic.
Well, that's
So
why you
here,
always say you talk to business because as fans we don't want to understand it. So when people don't understand it, they'll make up stories.
well, look, and I think fight fans do want to understand it, but they don't want to hear it. And so once again, it's like whenever I'm on Jem's channel, right, Ryan's channel, Boxing Gems, who does a great job. And guys, if you haven't already subscribed there, please go do that. He's awesome. He says, Joseph, man, you're always the bearer of bad news every single time you come on. I'm like, look, guys, I'm just giving you the truth of the business. That's the way it is. And once again, it's because so we hope the fans have a greater understanding as to why certain fights get made and why they don't. So you're just not walking around saying, oh, boxing sucks. Oh, boxing's terrible.
Oh, boxing is dead.
Oh, yeah. You know what, dude? Save that. Save it. Okay, so Mad Dog, brother, rest assured, it's not Abner Mares, okay? It's not Abner Mares, okay? Al Heyman may be a lot of things, but he's not that sadistic of a man, right? No way in Hades would he.
Yeah, that was a rumor for a little bit.
No way in Hades. Oh, no way in Hades would he ever put Abner Mares in with a real clubber like Tank Davis. No way. No way.
I don't even know if the state or the DC District Athletic Commission would approve it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So here it is. Nicholas Barra says this 66 million people don't watch boxing on Showtime. Well, once again, that's not just Showtime numbers. That's the bundle, Showtime, Paramount Plus. But look, you're saying, well, 66 million people, they're not watching boxing right now. Yes, of course. But once again, how many fights are Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia in boxing? How many mainstream and casual eyes are going to be on Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia compared to, say, Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano? It's like night and day. And so when you're talking about, okay, putting it in front of the greatest number of potential viewers, it's a no-brainer. You're talking about 66 million homes, guys, worldwide. That's not even close compared to less than 8 million. It's not even close, guys. So once again, DAZN, they've got no leverage here. So I don't know what they're doing. Well, we're the ones who have been actually cultivating and paying Ryan Garcia's licensing fees this entire time. Okay? Well, guess what? If you allow him to fight on Showtime in this brilliant event and he wins, guess what? You stand to make a lot more money after the fact. Let him fight. This is what I don't understand. Okay, and once again, Chingao, Eddie Hearn, he said, yeah, it's Showtime, Al Heyman, Espinosa holding up this deal. Really? You mean it's not DAZN and Golden Boy being sticklers that they be involved?
Like,
think about this. Think about this, guys. Why is DAZN why are they being such sticklers that they're involved in this situation? If they allow their man to go compete in this mega fight, and if he's successful, and that's always a possibility because of his power, because of his size, because of his speed, guys, he's a live dog in this fight. Although Tank realistically would be favored, but you can't count out Ryan Garcia. And if he wins, holy shit, that immediately increases their subscriber base in the U.S. He's the guy who just knocked out Tank Davis. Why wouldn't you be willing to allow your fighter to compete on a greater, more widely recognized mainstream outlet? That makes no sense to me. That is the best source of advertising. Come on now. Am I wrong in stating this, Frank? Am I wrong in stating this, James?
Nope.
Ching, ow, guys.
I mean, it's so easy to see, you know. And you know, I was talking about it, you know, while you were out. I'm like the zone doesn't understand that, like, they don't really have enough behind them in order to invest or to say that Ryan Garcia is so valuable to them, right? This is looking like how what it was. Jamal Charlo, Jaime Munguia fell apart.
Yep, that's it. It's exact same scenario, guys. Look, and once again, Goldie, of course, is going to... Al Heyman, he's the biggest obstructionist in boxing. Dude, you can't keep saying that. You can't keep saying that and expect people to fucking believe it. Because that's insane. Okay, because that deal was already made. The deal was already done. Goldie, you're the one who is insistent on DAZN being involved when they're not putting up the guaranteed purse. Correct me if I'm wrong, brother, but in the Charlo situation, Steven Espinosa is the one who put up the licensing fee or is willing to. They weren't even involved in the negotiation. And guess what, guys? It was the same thing in this scenario. The deal was already done.
Yep.
Hold on, here it is. Sly Tendencies has the beat. It says, oh, you're going to upset Ringworm IQ if you tell the truth about DAZN. Look, man, that guy, look, that guy is so, that little man is so far up the ass of Eddie Hearn, he can't see daylight any longer. Okay. So further, Nicholas wants to argue with me. He says, I don't get your argument. Well, that's, no one's perfect, brother. He says, I don't get your argument when Showtime numbers for boxing have been shit steadily dropping. Guess what, brother? There's shit everywhere. There's shit everywhere. And you know why? Okay, be honest with me, Nicholas. When is the last time you purchased a fight? And I don't want to single you out because the great majority, and I'm talking over 90% of fight fans, don't purchase these events any longer. In fact, they don't need to subscribe to neither Showtime nor DAZN nor ESPN Plus. They pirate it for free. Okay, that's the reality.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So don't use that argument, guys. That's the biggest problem that boxing faces any longer. I tell you what, you guys really want things to change. Well, then either you're going to have to start financially supporting your beloved boxing. And I know that's hard. I know that's a tough ask, right? That's a difficult ask at this point because you can get it for free. Especially when, boy, we're living in Biden country, brother. Not to get political, but no one has any disposable income anymore. When it's expensive just to fill your refrigerator every month. Yeah, it's a tough sell, guys. Guys,
Yeah.
At this time, I'd like to give a shout out to my brother HLD. Thank you for helping me celebrate my birthday, my friend. And Khalid has the beat. He says, look, Showtime is the biggest network after ESPN when it comes to boxing. Easily. Guys, it's not even a close second.
Yeah, I don't even know why you'd be talking about boxing if you weren't buying it. I mean, if you follow boxing, you have to have a DAZN subscription and a Showtime subscription. I got all three, so you know, and DAZN did just double it. It was what, $9.99, now it's $19.99 a month.
Yep.
So I mean, it's just anything now. I got Hulu, I got all the apps. I don't know who doesn't. So
yeah,
I don't know
look, guys, and I'm very fortunate, right? Fight Saga, they reimburse me every single month for subscribing and purchasing everything. So I'm very lucky, right? And guys, let me give a shout out to my brother Lee Cleveland, editor-in-chief of FightSaga.com. Guys, our shows are always sponsored by FightSaga.com, and that's why you see the backdrop for every episode, FightSaga.com. Guys, for all the latest boxing news, please go visit FightSaga.com. Okay? Hold on. Sid UK has the beat. BLK Prime is bigger than them all, brother. Too big to fall like the banks.
Is that sarcasm? I want to say it's
Of course it is, dude.
someone being funny.
So Nicholas says this. I bought Canelo Plant, brother. Great. And it was a great fight. Great event. And I just went to JoJo versus Zepeda. Great. That's awesome. And I always subscribe to his own ESPN Plus, but showing boxing ain't worth buying. Most of the cards are shit. Okay, well, you're one of the few and the proud, brother, because numbers don't lie. So either you're telling me then, because I get the numbers for everything. So either you're telling me that you're one of the few, which I truly believe that, or no one, even the diehard fans, aren't watching boxing, and they're only, like, say, put it this way. If diehard fans were still financially supporting the sport and subscribing to everything, including Showtime, ESPN, and DAZN, okay, that would mean that there are only about 400 to 500,000 diehard fans left in the U.S. I would ultimately have to come to that conclusion. But that's not the case. So I'm sorry, the great majority, and once again, Tim Smith of PBC, he spilled the beans earlier this year, saying that, look, we can't rely on that demographic any longer. They're just not buying the product any longer. So we can't rely on that demographic any longer. The demographic that was our bread and butter traditionally, we can no longer rely on it. So now we're going after the mainstream and casual audiences, the ones who are still paying for their entertainment.
Yeah, to the Nicholas Parker. Look, I mean, the numbers are down everywhere. So it's like that's what's funny is when people try to tell you something, is like they're obviously trying to paint a picture for you to fall in love with, but it's not real. They're down everywhere.
Okay.
So he's making an argument, but it's
says,
pretty easy to see.
Because I meant Showtime boxing is shit. Okay. So Stephen Fulton versus Brandon Figueroa was shit. Really? So Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano was shit. Really? Okay, brother.
Errol
All
Spence versus Yordenis Ugas.
Yeah, that was shit. Okay, brother. You know what?
Ian Stanionis versus Radzab Butayev.
All right. Well, yeah, once again, look, if you look up and down the calendar on every platform, it's been lights out in 2022. And look, that just tells me that I'm arguing or discussing with someone, right, who really I shouldn't be arguing with. So
no,
thank you for confirming that.
I believe he's a fan. I just believe that he wants to believe what someone else is telling him instead of looking at what you said, as the numbers are down everywhere. Now, if he could show where it's spiking in one area and not, then maybe he has a point. Now, he's a fan, but that's what we're talking about, is that he's a fan that wants to just believe instead of looking at the numbers, like when we talk about the business.
Well, look, and once again, I don't mean to discount that he's a fan. Obviously he is, or else he wouldn't be listening to this discussion.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a great, passionate fan of boxing.
Yeah.
And God bless you for being here, my friend. But it seems like a lot of diehard fans these days, they choose one platform over the other.
That part.
And that's not healthy for the sport.
Yeah,
so it's common. Has the beat.
It's like an abused person.
Yep. He says, Nicholas, you're just showing us how biased you are. Well, and once again, God bless you, brother. And look, regardless of what platform, what team you supposedly root for, I'm a Cowboys fan, brother. And I'll tell you, I was jumping for joy when and I'm going to say this, the Redskins defeated the Eagles last night. I was overjoyed. And why? Because I'm a biased fan. So look, Nicholas, in this discussion, we don't want to argue with you because you're a biased fan. And let me tell you something, Nicholas. The sport of boxing needs more biased fans like you. We need more passionate fans like you. So God bless you, brother. And thank you for supporting our beloved boxing, regardless of what platform you choose.
Hey, Joseph. I watched that game yesterday, and I'm going to tell you this. Ain't no way I'm going to be saying or celebrating nothing coming out of that Washington squad. I don't care. I can't.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Look. James, all I can tell you is this. Okay, if Carson Wentz gets the starting nod after going 3-1 with Taylor Heineke, then you know what? You guys have much bigger troubles than your record.
Yeah.
There's no way in Hades Carson Wentz should get the starting job ever again. And he's not a bad quarterback, but he's a statue. With that offensive line, you need someone like Taylor Heineke behind the snap. Am I lying about that, James?
No, you are not. You see a whole different team when Heineke is under center.
That's it. Hold on. So thank you for pouring salt in the wound on my birthday celebration, Peter. He said Packers beat the Cowboys equals luck. You know what? When Aaron Rodgers is facing the Cowboys at Lambeau, luck has nothing to do with it.
Oh yeah, that was that catch, right? The Des Bryant. I like
I
pouring
don't know what
salt
you're
in
talking about.
Cowboys
La, la,
fans'
la, la,
wounds.
la, la. I don't hear you.
It wasn't a
Chingao.
catch. Get over
You know
it.
what, brother? Why don't you give me a nice paper cut and pour some lemon juice on it, Frank?
I
Thank
can't
you.
help it. You're a Cowboys fan. I have to. It's by law.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You're a Niners fan, aren't you, brother?
Exactly.
All right, brother. Yeah. You know, why don't you just go ahead and take a knee with your boy Kaepernick, okay?
Hey, we already did that. He's no longer on the team.
Yeah. Hey, how'd that Ravens Super Bowl turn out for you, man?
Yeah, that hurt. That stung.
That damn.
But it was for Ray Lewis.
That's the night. Of course. It was because of Ray Lewis. Keep telling yourself
they
that.
gave it to Ray, man. You know how it is.
Yeah. Okay, brother. Okay, so Sly says, Joe, what happened in the Janabek fight? Well, I tell you what. Sly, I don't want to go into it again because we have another topic to discuss, and we're already at 90 minutes in almost. But if you want to get Coach Gogie's point of view, it's still up, man. You can listen to that. And Coach Gogie had a lot to say about it, right? And so, yeah, as he always does, right? Dude, and once again, I love his comment. Hey, you know what? Maybe Golovkin we'll give him a job holding his bag going into the gym, carrying his bag into the gym. Oh, Chingao, I love that. And once again, Coach Gogie, man, he is, truth be told, he's the only reason why we still have War Week Radio. If it weren't for Gogie willing to do the show with me, I probably would have packed it in a long time ago, right? Gogie, guys, is the truth. He's one of my best friends in this business. And
he definitely is, man.
I tell you what, he is a bar of gold, guys. If you haven't already heard Coach Gogie and his brilliance, he's got the best eyes in this business. After Emmanuel passed away, guys, he is the truth.
It's a disclaimer, though, Joe. If you're sensitive, I don't suggest it.
Well, once again, man, Coach Gogie, he's the truth serum. He's going to give it to you whether you like it or not. And let me give a shout out to my brother Dex. Thank you, man, for wishing me a happy birthday, my friend. God bless you, man. Thank you. And Peter Von Arx does have the beat. Coach Gogie is indeed great, guys. He is great. Once again, he's got the best eyes in this business, bar none. Right? He actually tried, when Rock Nation hired him as a talent scout on which guys to sign, he gave him the sound advice, guys, I'm sorry, but the best prospect on that list that you gave me was Dimitri Bevil. If you guys don't sign him, you're damn fools. He's got the biggest upside, and he's going to become a champion. And guess what? They didn't take his advice.
Ooh.
That's why they're no longer in the boxing business.
That's the guys who passed up Michael Jordan, huh?
Goodness gracious. And so the Real Merc TV says, appreciate him while he's still here. Yes, indeed. And you too, Joe. Happy birthday, by the way. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that, brother. God bless you, man. Sid UK says, is that American football? We have football you guys call soccer. Our rugby is like American football. Sid, with all due respect, brother, rugby is nothing like American football, my friend. But thank you for saying that, brother. I appreciate it. Well, see, that's all right, Sly, because they're still on archive. You can go listen to it, man, right after this show. And let me tell you, Gogi is always gold, and we always learn. Look, man, I've been knowing Gogi for almost 2 decades, and I still learn something new every time we're on the air. That's how brilliant Coach Gogi is. Right? That's how brilliant he is. Just like when I used to feature Manuel Stewart on my old show, The Pugilist Corner, and when I used to work with Emmanuel, I would always learn something new. Foul mouth and all, man, I would always learn something new. So, guys, our final topic of the evening, and hopefully we can make it within 2 hours, right? This is what Eddie Hearn said. He said, only way Usyk can get IBF exception is if Filip Ergovic says he can, and as of right now, he doesn't want to. So, guys, here's the final topic of the evening. Do you think Filip Ergovic will refuse step-aside money, and will he demand that he fight for the IBF title in 2023? Frank, your initial thoughts, sir, before I start reading Eddie Hearn's comments on this.
I know it pissed a lot of people off. You know, I'm on Twitter. A lot of people are pissed off about this. I know you got the scoop, but if I didn't know, and if I didn't know better, I would say that he's gonna take the money. He'll take the step aside and let him go for it. Because the way they were talking was that it was gonna be in the first part of the year, so it's not like we're gonna have to wait that long.
Well, James, your thoughts on this? Do you think Filip Ergovic and Coach Ronnie Shields, Eddie Hearn, everyone involved, do you think they're going to be willing to take step-aside money? Or do you think they're going to try and get Daryl Peoples to enforce this?
I'm going to be honest. They should go for that step-aside money. Because what I saw from Filip Ergovic, he shouldn't get in the ring. He shouldn't get in the ring against Alexander Usyk. He shouldn't get in the ring with Anthony Joshua. He shouldn't get in the ring with even definitely not Joe Joyce. I know that. Like, he shouldn't get in the ring with any of those top guys, because if you getting checked up by Soleil Zhang like he was getting checked up.
Look, and I understand that. Look, you're discounting, though. One, the fact that his chin was sturdy enough where he still won the fight, right? And two, boy, you're not giving Zhilei Zhang the Big Bang enough credit. That dude's a former Olympian and very skilled. Look, his ability to touch up an opponent has never been in question. It's always been his age and his conditioning, right? That's always been the big question mark surrounding or hovering above Zhilei Zhang.
Oh, so it's like Luis Ortiz.
That's right. Dude, he is the Chinese Luis Ortiz, brother. What are you talking about? He is a superb counterpuncher, and he's got great power. And the fact that Filip Ergovic was still able to withstand that kind of vaunted power and outwork his man to get the decision, right? And so Peter has the beat. He says, in Zhang, wasn't he like 39 or something? Yep. That's it. So our brother Sid UK says, Ergovic doesn't stand a chance against Usyk. I like him, but Fury, Usyk, and Wilder all beat him badly. He isn't ready for those three right now. Okay, here it is, guys, right? And this is where the business of boxing is finally going to give you guys the ray of hope that you've been looking for, right? Even though it's not going to be for undisputed, so to speak. So if Filip Ergovic and Daryl Peoples, if they don't want to concede and they demand, nope, we're going to enforce this, guess what Usyk's going to do? He's going to say, well, Tyson, I guess we're not going to be competing for the IBF in March, but we'll still be competing for everything else, including the Ring Lineal Championship. That's all that's going to happen, guys.
Now,
that's all that's going to happen. Look, the IBF is not going to hold this up. Filip Ergovic, Mr. Non-ticket seller, Mr. Non-ratings draw, is not going to hold this fight up. Guys, trust me when I tell you this. From my understanding and from what I've been told, this is all but a done deal. In fact, don't be shocked if it gets announced immediately following Derek Chisora Tyson Fury on December 3rd. Don't be shocked if Usyk is there and he joins Fury in the ring immediately following the fight to announce it in March of 2023. It's going on with or without Filip Ergovic's blessing.
That's going to piss off a number of these Wilder fans who thought Alexander Usyk was going to be in attendance at the Barclays Center.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Guys, so that's what's going to happen, guys. And once again, this is where the business of boxing tells us that this fight's going to happen. Okay? Yep. And once again, who cares? Like, I'm sorry, do any of you guys in the chat, Frank, James, do you need Daryl Peoples in the IBF telling you who the two best fighters in the world are in the heavyweight division? Or can you see that for yourself? Can you determine that for yourselves?
You can definitely see it.
That's it. Okay, so the IBF in this scenario is weak shit, right? They don't matter. Guys, and all you're going to see is Usyk say, bye-bye IBF. That's going to save me an additional 3% of my purse. That's
makes sense.
So if Filip Ergovic is smart, he's going to play ball and say, hey, you know what? Why not get some step-aside money for absolutely doing nothing?
Right.
If you're a fighter, why wouldn't you take step-aside money when it's offered to you? That's free money.
Free money, but okay. It's free money, right? Now, here's a question for you, Joseph, right? Let's say Filip Hrgovic, enforces that thing for the mandatory, and Usyk gives up the belt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it becomes vacant.
Yep.
Filip Hrgovic would have to be fighting somebody for that.
Joe Joyce. No, not Joe Joyce. He already has the interim WBA, right?
Yeah, the WBO.
Or I'm sorry, the interim WBO. My apologies. So no. Let's take a look. Hold on, brother.
Look at those IBF rankings.
I'm gonna look up the IBF.
Yep.
I'm gonna look up the IBF heavyweight rankings, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Let me look that up real quick.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yep.
That's Andy Ruiz.
Right. And
that fight's not going to happen, guys. That's not going to happen.
That fight's not going to happen.
Yep.
So, with that being said, who is next on the rankings?
Oh, let's see. Hold on, brother. Oh, Chingao. This is fun. Hold on, dude. Let me see. Chingao, hold on. Come on, computer. What's wrong with you? Okay, hold on. That's Anthony Joshua.
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit. And behind that, if you're not able to make that fight, that's Deontay Wilder.
Mm-hmm. And
okay, so either way, he's going to get his ass kicked for less money. How's that?
Well, that's the thing. It's going to be less money or whatever it would be. But if he wants to go ahead and force Alexander Usyk to give up that IBF title, hey, if you want to fight for a vacant IBF, fine. You might be able to cash in a little bit against Anthony Oluwafemi Joshua.
Yep.
Or you could just say, hey, let them fight for undisputed and I'll have first dibs.
Okay,
Either
so
way, you're going to lose.
yeah, so here it is. Why don't you just do it? Why don't you lose for more money, brother? So this is what Eddie Hearn in his infinite wisdom had to say about it, right? Quote, the IBF ordered it. We've already said we're not willing to negotiate. This is the request of the team. I want to have an immediate purse bid. That's within the rules of the IBF. That means that you cannot get an exception. The only way Usyk can get an exception is if Ergovic says he can. And he doesn't want to give him an exception because he wants to fight for the title. End quote. Oh, Eddie, because the IBF ordered it. Brother, you're just going to expose the lack of strength from any of the sanctioning organizations in this version of the business of boxing. That's all that does. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute, James. He said because the IBF ordered it. That means it has to happen.
No.
Guys, that
comment
comment from Eddie Hearn deserves a shot, brother. I tell you what, here's some
Yeah,
sweet amber to you guys. And hold on, let me give a shout out to my brother Tony Boswell. Tony, thank you so much for joining us at this time, my friend. God bless you, brother. I pulled up the wrong one. Hold on. He says, much respect to War Week Radio in the chat. Stopped in to show support and hit the like button. Thank you, my friend. And thank you for, well, at least appearing on this episode of War Week Radio and helping me celebrate my birthday, my friend. So God bless you, Tony. Thank you for being here, my brother. And thank you for always supporting both Coach Shields as well as Coach Gogi. God bless you, my friend.
This whole scenario here with Filip Hrgović has me in a time machine. I'm going back to 2015.
Uh-oh.
Where you had Vladimir Klitschko versus Tyson Fury for the Unified Heavyweight Championships.
Yep.
Where Tyson Fury defeated Vladimir Klitschko for those championships.
That's right.
9 days later, what did Tyson Fury do? He said, oh, man, screw that belt. Screw the IBF belt.
He dumped the IBF, and Anthony Joshua fought Prince Charles Martin, and the rest is history. Yep. And you know what? The guys, once again, that's exactly what's going to happen. Do you really think Filip Hrgović is going to derail, once again, and with all due respect for Ronnie and Eddie and Filip, I mean, he's a great guy, and he's a very good fighter. I love the Croatian sensation, right? Truth be known, I love Filip. He's a great guy. But guys, he is not derailing this unification fight to determine supremacy at the heavyweight division. This is something that everyone is looking forward to. This is potentially the biggest fight, okay, most consequential fight of 2023. And guys, from what I've been told, it's already a done deal.
Listen.
Okay, so Filip, I know you like to think you're in control here. Eddie, I know you like to think that IBF is in control here and that they ordered it. Ooh, guys, I'm shaking in my boots. The IBF and Daryl Peoples ordered it. And I love Daryl. He's a great guy. Great for boxing. And his sanction organization, they're great for the sport. Okay? But, dude, you guys aren't dictating shit in this scenario. Woo! Oh, happy birthday to me.
You know, but that kind of like, you know, hurts me a little bit because they would be in the way of Alexander Usyk potentially making history as a two.
Look, guys, look. And that's where you're getting it all wrong, James.
I know.
That's where you're getting it all wrong, right? And this is, once again, a log added to the fire that is currently, well, erupting for the claim that belts don't mean shit. And once again, guys, I'm going to spell this out to you. in the immortal words of Emmanuel Stewart, in his words, look, Joseph, belts, resumes, records, those are only there for fans, boxing writers, and networks who really don't quite understand what they're looking at yet. And he is absolutely right on the money. Once again, I'm going to pose this question to you. Do you really need the sanctioning organizations to tell you who the two best fighters are in any division? No.
Nah.
You know what you want to see. You know you want to see Fury versus Usyk to determine the very best in the heavyweight division. Not Anthony Joshua, not Deontay Wilder, not Andy Ruiz, and definitely not Filip Ergovic. Guys, the fans are the real bosses of boxing. They demand this fight. The promoters and the fighters have heard you loudly and clearly. Guess what? This fight is happening, guys. Hallelujah. Frank, your parting shots, brother. Your final thoughts on this topic, sir.
Yeah, well, we've had some, I guess, buzz kills with the Bud thing, now the Gervonta thing, and it looked like a buzz kill with this Hergovich thing. But I think there's still some good fights. There's still some good fights for the rest of the year. Chocolatito, that Zepeda fight, Teofimo. I'm not watching Bud, but you might want to. So,
well, hey, hold on. Wait a minute. Let's go to the calendar. We're not done yet. We're not done yet, guys. We still have something to talk about. Guess what this Saturday night is, guys? And I know all of you can't wait. You're all on bated breath, right? You guys all can't wait to see Jaime Munguia versus Gonzalo Correa. Woo-hoo! Yes, on DAZN. On DAZN, guys. Your premier platform for boxing for the biggest events. Jaime Munguia versus Gonzalo Correa. Isn't that great, guys, this Saturday night?
Yeah.
James, I'll bet you can't wait for that, can you?
I'll be covering Beltway Battles Round 3.
And there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Frank?
Yes.
I bet you can't wait, brother.
You know, actually, I am a fan of Jaime Munguia. Like I said, I'm a fan, but yeah, it could have been a better op.
I am too.
But you're gonna get action. You know, that's all I can say. You're gonna get some action.
So I tell you what, brother. Look, I was gonna save this, right? I was gonna save this for tomorrow night with Coach Ronnie Shields. I already devised an entire fact or fiction, right? But because I'm feeling a little saucy on my birthday, would you guys like to conduct fact or fiction very quickly?
Yeah, we could do a final blaze round.
Just you two guys, right?
Lightning round, yeah.
Yes, absolutely, guys. This is great stuff, man. And once again, here is fact or fiction 1 through 10. And Frank, you're first up, my friend.
Okay.
So here it is, number one. Filip Ergovic, fact or fiction. Filip Ergovic will not take a step-aside deal for Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury, but the fight will go on as planned for March 2023 without the IBF at stake. Fact or fiction?
Oh, when you pose it like that, I'll have to say fact. I think he'll push it through, and the fight will go on we'll have to go on without the undisputed tag.
Look, it'll still be. And guys, so this lets you know, right? Whenever I come up with fact or fiction, some of it is just random, but most of it, the great majority of it, right, is things that I already know to be true or more than likely will happen, right? So there it is. So Sid UK says spill the beans, fact or fiction. Yes, there it is. Yeah. So guys, just to let you know how I develop and devise my prognostications, right? Some of them are like just random and silly, but the great majority of them are things that I truly believe will happen, right? So number 2, James, are you ready?
Yeah.
Fact or fiction? Gervonta Tank Davis will get knocked down and outpointed by Isaac Cruz on January 7th, 2023 in Washington, D.C. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
So that was a random one, guys. So, but Frank,
Yes.
you think this is going to be a difficult fight once again for Tank Davis?
Well, he said that the reason it was difficult the first time is because of his hand. But I think
Well,
the guys,
that was his hand, not the hard noggin of Isaac Cruz, right?
yeah, that's what he said. When guys say that, I mean, the guy was a problem. Isaac Cruz was a problem. I think I have a problem again. I can't see him making it an easier fight.
Yeah, look, guys, and I said this to everyone when that fight was made. Guys, Isaac Cruz is not a pushover. He's not just going to knock this guy out. In fact, you're going to see a much more difficult fight than you guys think. And guess what happened? Okay? So, because Frank, you had a very good response and a very insightful one, right? We're going to give James number 3 also, right?
Okay.
James, are you ready, brother? Number 3, fact or fiction?
Number 3.
Here it is. Former head trainer Robert Garcia is correct when he states Virgil Ortiz gives Duran Boots and his trouble in a 12-round contest. Fact or fiction?
Oh. 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 Joseph. Come on, man. I can't do it. Listen.
Oh, that's right. You're a little impartial, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't. Okay, so James is eliminated from that question or that prognostication of fact or fiction, right? He can't answer that unbiasedly, and I can understand why, my friend. God bless you, brother. So I'm going to pose this to Big Frank. Frank, I'm going to repeat this.
Okay.
Fact or fiction? Former head trainer Robert Garcia is correct when he states Virgil Ortiz gives Duran Boots Ennis trouble in a 12-round contest. Fact or fiction?
I'm going to go one step further. I think it's fact, and he just doesn't want to say that Virgil Ortiz will beat Boots Ennis because I heard him speak before, and he says the dad said Virgil beats all these guys.
Okay, so in your mind, do you think he is correct when he says that? Now, once again, don't just regurgitate what Robert Garcia thinks. I'm asking you, is he correct when he states that Virgil gives him trouble in a 12-round contest?
Yeah, my own more than trouble. I think he probably beats him.
Ooh. Yeah. and now we understand why James didn't want to answer that question.
Because you'd have to be a fanboy if you didn't agree that he would give him trouble.
Listen.
Look, guys, that's it. Look, both guys are beasts and are future champions. Okay, now let's just get that out of the way. Both guys have a limited ceiling in this sport, in this business, I should say. Okay? You're talking about the knockout artist, Virgil Ortiz, guy with one of the most intelligent jabs in boxing. Okay? But, boy, you're talking about the phenom, Duran Ennis. Oh, my gosh. Do you think, now, this is a better question for you, James.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think either camp is willing to make that fight a reality at this juncture of both men's careers?
Right now, no.
¿Por qué, señor? Okay, for the non-bilingual, why, brother? Come on, you didn't think it was going to be that easy, James.
I do not see that fight happening without one or both of them having a world title around their waist.
Well, let's look at the business first and foremost, right? Come on. This is a big problem for Virgil. Okay? He's going to be fighting He's going to be taking on the hold on. He's going to be taking on the Gonzalo Correas of the 47-pound division, brother. Guess why? He's on his own. He's on his own. There's no chance of Cameron Duncan. Look, as long as Steven Espinosa is in love with Jaron Boots Ennis, which he is, that has no chance of being materialized. Like that fight, that matchup has no chance of being a reality.
Right.
Because Virgil Ortiz is a future superstar. He's still a young man. And he's going to go as high as middleweight, possibly. Probably. Right? They understand as long as he's with Golden Boy and as long as Golden Boy is doing the bidding of the DAZN brass, that fight has no possibility of happening. So, guys, if you're wondering who Virgil Ortiz is going to fight next, well, guys, look at Jaime Munguia's next opponent.
Wait,
he's going to be fighting someone similar.
Oh, come on.
Okay, so Gonzalo Correa is the number 54th ranked middleweight in the world. That means Virgil Ortiz is going to be fighting someone similar.
Oh, man, I wanted them to fight Alexis Rocha, man. Damn.
Oh, hell no, that's not going to happen anytime soon, brother. Come on now. Come on now. Look, as much money as they've been paying Alexis Rocha and as much as they've been trying to build him into an attraction, forget it. Not going to happen, brother. Okay?
They were trying to
not going to happen. And you already know this, James. You already know this. And look, Dex has the beat. Tough ass fight, yes. Okay, not Munguia versus Correa. I'm talking about Virgil Ortiz versus Jaron Boots Ennis. Yes, tough fight. Let's go to the next one. Frank, are you ready, brother?
I'm ready when you are.
Oh, wait a minute. Are we with James this time?
Yeah, because we had skipped him.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so number 4, James, are you ready, sir?
Yes.
Fact or fiction? Roy Jones Jr. will be officially named head trainer of Anthony Joshua in 2023. Fact or fiction?
Oh. That's a good one. That's a good one. Hold on. How's it, man? I haven't like, nailed his. He'd be like, let me tell you, Anthony Joshua, he's a good fighter, but he still needs a couple things, and I'm here to teach him that he can be a much better fighter.
Oh, you know what, brother? Honestly,
I'll lean towards fact.
Honestly, brother, you sound a lot more audible than Roy Jones Jr. at this stage of his life. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. Going back to the last one, guys, and this is very interesting. And I have to pull this up because this is a very realistic possibility. Okay? Is Conor Benn going to come to the USA and fight Virgil Ortiz?
Ooh, that's a ooh.
Look. The last thing that Eddie Hearn wants to do, right, is bring him his blue chip UK prospect to the US as a virtual unknown and get his ass whooped. That's the last thing that Eddie Hearn wants. But if he's a no-hoper and it's pretty much his career is washed because of the allegations, that wouldn't shock me one bit. Look, because, see, the problem is, though, is Conor Benn is a big ticket seller in the UK. And there's a rule of thumb, Promotions 101. Now, we're going back to the business, guys. Protect your ticket sellers. That's Promotions 101. Protect your ticket sellers. Now, if you couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night, then you have no choice as a promoter but to stick your talent in tough. But because Ben is a legitimate ticket seller in the UK, I highly doubt that that's a possibility. But that's a great fight. That's a great fight. Like, sign it up, man. Scott, I love your matchmaking brain, brother. That's a great fight. And Peter has the beat. I could see it. Ben is pretty damn good. Yes, but he's not Virgil Ortiz.
And there's that.
And there's that. Oh, Chingao. So, James, you have yet to answer my question, or not question, but my prediction. And once again, here it is, fact or fiction, guys. And once again, these are all, just like Jeopardy, instead of being posed as questions, these are all posed as prognostications. So is this going to be fact or fiction, James? Roy Jones Jr. will officially be named head trainer of Anthony Joshua in 2023.
I say it's
fact or fiction.
I say it's fact.
Really? Why, brother? ¿Por qué?
Okay. I feel like the thing with Joshua, coming off of that fight with Alexander Usyk, with Robert Garcia, even though there were like a couple of elements to his game that he added, there were like some things that I don't think Garcia was able to push towards Joshua. And, I just feel like Roy Jones is someone that, has it's almost like almost like to a level of Deion Sanders to Jackson State University. And like he has the aura, he has the name, and he's had, a couple of guys behind him where he's, taught them along the way. He's taught a few, fighters along the way himself. And I know that Robert Garcia does have that extensive background himself, but I think it's just something with Roy that kind of like would give Anthony Joshua a different element to his game that Robert Garcia wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, you know what, man? That's a very good point. Frank, do you think that Roy Jones Jr. will make a difference in Anthony Joshua's fight game? I mean, keep in mind, you know what? I feel really bad for Anthony Joshua because he's been a big ticket seller. He's been a big ratings draw, and he's been a big pay-per-view cash register. He hasn't had that luxury of learning on the job, even though realistically he still is.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Just because, and I'm using other sports. Magic Johnson tried to coach it. It's rare that a great player can become a great coach. It's usually like the average trainers and coaches that become great, like Freddie Roach. Some of these mid-tier guys become
Joey
great
Gamache.
coaches.
Yep.
Because I kind of think Roy can't give Anthony what he had.
Oh, jeez.
He can't make him a special athlete.
You know what? You're speaking too much sense, my friend. So we're going to move to number 5. Frank, are you ready, sir?
I'm ready as ever.
Canelo will get beaten even more decisively by Dimitri Bivol on Cinco de Mayo weekend 2023. Fact or fiction? Now, once again, this is twofold. This is assuming that the fight actually takes place on May. So one, is Canelo going to, in fact, make his comeback on Cinco de Mayo weekend? And is he going to, choose Dimitri Bivol as a dance partner?
I know I'm going to lose the Mexican fans. I'm going to have to pick fiction that he's coming back on May 5th. And fact that if he comes back, he's going to get beaten even worse. Dimitri Bivol's to me, he's pound for pound the best fighter in the world right now. There's nothing that you could tell me that he looked better in his last fight than he did against Canelo.
Look, we're not even going to try to do that, Frank. Because once again, you look at statistically, he is the most responsible, the most defensively responsible fighter in boxing, even statistically above Shakur Stevenson. Right? So we're not even going to try to dissuade you of believing that Well, Dimitri Bivol the best pound for pound fighter in boxing. Maybe James might, but I'm not. James, what say you, brother? What do you think? Do you think Canelo is prideful enough? I don't want to say foolish because he's a smart guy.
Mhm.
He's got a smart team around him. But is he prideful enough to get Dimitri Bivol back in the ring at 175?
Whether it's 175 or 168, Dimitri Bivol beats him still.
Well, that's not what I asked you, my friend. I said, do you think Canelo is prideful enough to get him back in the ring?
Yes, I do. I do.
Well, look. I think you're right. I think he is prideful enough. It's that machismo, brother. And that machismo only wrecks you, brother. So here's while I'll tell you, Scott Brown, like the way you think, Canelo going to fight Ryder Parker winner. Here's why. That's not going to happen because Parker's going to win that fight. Okay, and he is a Queensbury fighter. Not going to happen. The only way that fight happens is if Ryder pulls off the upset, and it's not going to happen. Parker's going to whoop his ass. Once again, John Ryder's a good fighter, and he's a volume guy, and he's a guy who's going to, because of his limited size and reach, he's going to fight you in a phone booth, right? At least he's going to try to. But he takes a lot of incoming on his way in, right? And you're going to see very, very quickly, whether it's this fight or the next, John Ryder really start to slip. Because in the land of 168-pound punchers, okay, the immortal words of Eddie Futch, if you fight like John Ryder, boy, you're going to have a short but glorious career. And that's John Ryder. He's not going to win this fight. Okay? Yeah. So the likelihood of that fight happening is slim and none. But thank you for your comment, Scott.
Remember, John Ryder was slated to be the opponent for Canelo if he didn't have an injury. So,
yeah, well, you know what, brother? That's a big fight in the UK, not anywhere else. Okay, number 6. Who's getting this one? Whose turn is it now?
I think
Frank, is it your turn?
No, I think I just went with the Canelo thing.
Yeah, you went with the Canelo.
Okay, I'm sorry, James. It's your turn. My apologies, my friend. So here it is. Oh boy, you're gonna love this one. Fact or fiction? Tyson Fury will fight twice in 2023. Usyk in March, and Wilder at Wembley Stadium in August. Fact or fiction?
Oh. Oh my God! We're gonna have Fury Wilder 4. Oh my God!
I tell you what, if it plays out anything like the third, we're in for a real treat.
Oh man! Oh, yeah, it looks like a fact. You know,
I tell you what, guys. If they give us anything close to the third fight, boy, that is must-see TV, and that's only good for the health of the sport. 2 behemoths just clubbing on each other. Guys, that was riveting television, and that's one of the best heavyweight fights we've seen in a very long time. Right?
Definitely.
Good Lord, that was a great fight. But look, you're not going to hear any complaints from me. If he wants a 4th fight with Wilder and it sells out Wembley Stadium, that's great for the sport. Those are 2 great ambassadors for the sport of boxing. And guys, it's in the big man division, which virtually like guarantees that the fight's going to end in a knockout. So Sid UK has the beat. He says, I'd watch Wilder Fury live in London. Hell yes. Who wouldn't? Holy shit. Hold on. So Scott's still on the Canelo thing, or pick Parker over Benavidez. You know what, brother? Let's revisit that one when Coach Ronnie is on the air tomorrow. right? So, Frank, are you ready
Yes,
for the
sir.
next one? Number 7.
Okay.
Fact or fiction? Crawford. Bud Crawford is correct when he says the Spence fight can still be made in 2023. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. Fiction. We know. Uh, well, we just discussed it for a while. That's
I don't know what
probably.
you're talking about, brother.
Huh? Okay, I heard wrong.
No.
Yeah,
Go ahead, sir. As
yeah.
you were.
No, I think it's behind us. I put it behind me. I think everybody should. I think it'll get a few more clicks with people telling the stories. But as far as real boxing fans, I think we're gonna just move on, especially when these new fights, the Plant Benavides, Fury Usyk get announced. That'll be old news.
Okay, something tells me that Plant Benavides is coming up later on. Overjoyed. Well, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. I was wrong. Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, Plant Benavides. Do you think Tim Bradley is right when he says Plant quits against David Benavides?
He said quit.
Yep.
Like as in quit, as in like he just gets hit and goes down, or quit like no mas.
Taps out, no moss, whatever, gets beaten to shit. Yep.
Ooh, that's bold. I honestly, now that he says it, I could see that happening. I think there's that part in him.
Mm.
There's that. That sounds awful,
I
right?
hear James.
Okay.
No,
Hey,
look, guys. Look, guys,
Joe.
and once again, I have to give this disclaimer, right? When it comes to matchups, right, on this show, okay, there are no right or wrong answers until they both step in the ring. So both Frank and both James, they're not wrong. Okay? So, James, what say you, brother?
We talked about odds earlier. I'd love to see the odds for this fight because I said this actually earlier today in another conversation. I'm leaning towards Caleb Plant.
Wow. You know what? You're not the only one. You're in good company, man. Ronnie Shields is leaning towards Caleb Plant. And he'll talk all about that tomorrow morning, or tomorrow evening, rather. Look, that's a great fight. And in my mind, under the tutelage of Breadman Edwards, this is a 50-50 fight, guys. Caleb Plant is a very good fighter. But guess what? So is David Benavides, damn it. Holy shit. This is a great fight, guys.
Oof.
So, hey, want to give a shout out to my brother G Funky. Thank you for joining us, sir. And if you guys haven't already subscribed to G Funky, please go do so at this time. Very insightful gentleman. And he also plays guitar. How awesome is that? Can't go wrong with that, brother. Thank you for joining us, G Funky. And thank you for helping me celebrate my birthday, brothers. I'm celebrating my birthday tonight on the air. So God bless you, brother. And Peter has the beat. He says Plant could very well win that fight. So here it is. Benavides is a minus 182 on pro boxing odds. Guys, that's virtually an even money fight.
Yeah.
That says it all now, doesn't it? Guys, this is a great matchup. Oh, wait a minute, though, James. I thought Heyman was a big obstructionist.
I thought he would. Oh, I thought he,
we won't go into that, though, brother. But I tell you what, though, thank you, Low Clarity. I appreciate you wishing me a happy birthday, my friend. Thank you so much, guys. And so I do have to issue this. If anyone would like to, donate a birthday present via Cash App, War Week, right? All proceeds are going to be donated to the South Texas and Bexar County amateur boxing community, and all proceeds are going to be donated to the local gyms, right? And I will give you guys full name credit for your donations. Thank you, brother. And so G Funky has the beat. Let's take a shot, guys. Are you ready? One final shot for the evening as we finished Fact or Fiction. So anyone who's indulging with me, and I know James and Frank aren't, they They don't drink. You guys don't drink,
I
do you?
drink.
Well,
Yes, I
I
do.
drink, but I'm not in the position.
But you're not indulging at this time.
Not at
Shame
this
on you
moment,
guys.
no.
Shame on you guys for not
No.
celebrating my birthday with me. But here, I'll drink enough for both of you. God bless all of you guys. Thank you for celebrating my birthday with me, guys. I couldn't ask for a better group of people to be celebrating my birthday. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being extended family members of the War Week Radio. Right? God bless all of you guys. Down the hatch. Hold on, Frank. Is that like number 13 or 14? What is that, brother?
Dude, see, I think you lost count, man.
I think I lost count too. Peter Von Arx, hey, thank you, brother, for downing the hatch with me, my friend. Hold on, guys. Khalid says, and thank you for hanging with us, Khalid, brother Khalid. He says, Prograis Zapata. Coming up soon. Who y'all got? And that's November 26th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a great fight, and that's going to be a great card, actually. Guys, we strongly advise all of you, please purchase this card. Okay? I know the guys who are staging this event, and it's on pay-per-view out of necessity because the network, they couldn't get a network date. They couldn't get a licensing fee. So please, guys, go support this event. Right? So, Frank?
Yes.
Who do you have? Regis Prograis? Oh, excuse me. Regis Prograis or Chon Zapata?
You know, I was going back and forth, and the consensus pick is Prograis, but and nobody was giving Zapata a chance. So I said, you know what? F that. I'm gonna be that guy, and I'm gonna give They gave him no chance. They said Zapata has no chance. I said, well, I'm gonna give him a chance. He has a chance.
Hey, brother, this wouldn't be the first time that Zapata proved his naysayers wrong, right?
There you go.
James, who are you picking in this fight, brother?
Very, very close. I got Prograis edging it.
Well, we'll see if he can still make 140. That's
Right.
all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, brother. Woo! So here it is, guys. Number 8. Are we Big Frank? Is it your turn or is it James's turn?
I think it's James.
Okay, Big James, here you are, brother.
Right.
Fact or fiction? Tim Bradley is correct when he states Caleb Plant will quit against David Benavidez. There it is. There it is. It wasn't fact or fiction, wasn't it?
Oh. Well,
Okay, so you already answered that question. Let me give you the next one.
Answer that question. It's fiction, baby.
Guys, I love Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. And thank you, Steven Espinosa. Thank you, Al Heyman. This is a great fight. Okay, so now I shift gears in saying thank you, Oscar De La Hoya, and thank you, DAZN. Because fact or fiction, James, you get this one then, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Jaime Munguia will immediately call out Triple G and Janabek Alim Anala after knocking out Gonzalo Correa this Saturday night, but won't fight either title holder in 2023. Fact or fiction?
Oh,
so
man.
it's twofold, brother.
That is twofold. Man, the way that you put that, it's a fact. And given Jaime Munguia's record, that's a fact too. Oh, man.
Woo! I tell you what, guys, and once again, Coach Gogi, if you missed it, he spelled out exactly why Golden Boy is really keeping Jaime Munguia on a short leash. He spelled it out, right? And if you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it, guys. And once again, from what Coach Gogi was saying, this guy, he hasn't shown very much improvement upon being under the tutelage of Eric Morales, right? And I love El Terrible. I love Eric Morales, but it's like he still does. Like, have you ever even seen, Frank, and I'm going to ask you this.
Okay.
Have you ever even seen Jaime Munguia use a feint in his entire career?
No, I can't say I've seen him do
No, dude. It's shocking. It's like this guy, he doesn't do anything to disrupt the timing and rhythm of his counterpunching of opposition, right?
Right. He's got one mode.
Well, look at Turiano Johnson. Even though he won that fight because of a nasty gash over the eye of Turiano Johnson, and boy, he was coming on, and you know what? God bless his chin. It makes for great TV. But that's the reason why, guys. He takes way too much incoming as he's trying to close the distance and cut off the ring, right? He takes way too much incoming. And that's what Gogi spelled out last night on last night's show. He doesn't know how to apply intelligent pressure, right? Okay, so Peter says, Fiction, he's going to have to fight somebody one of these days. Well, it's not tomorrow. Okay, because once again, he's only, what, 24, 25?
Yep.
Even though he has 39, 40 fights, he's still admittedly learning on the job. This is a guy who doesn't have a deep amateur background, right? Just like Canelo, he is admittedly learning on the job, and his performances reinforce that sentiment, right? So that's the problem. Golden Boy believes, as well as DAZN, that they have time on their side with Jaime Munguia. Okay? So that's it. That's it, guys. And so I think James is absolutely correct when he says Jaime Munguia will immediately call out Triple G and Janibek, but won't fight either in 2023. I think he's absolutely right. You're going to hear him. Well, he's going to call out. He's going to call out both fighters, and it's going to sound good, but he's not going to fight either one of them.
Jeez.
Frank, Big Frank, you take us home, brother. Number 10.
Okay.
Fact or fiction, sir?
All right.
Eddie Hearn is correct when he says Al Heyman and Steven Espinosa are the ones stopping Tank versus Ryan from happening. Fact or fiction?
That Eddie Hearn said that they're the ones stopping it.
Well, if Eddie Hearn said it.
Then, right. Well, if he said it, no, then that's fiction.
Oh, Chingo. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just gonna go to whoever you listen to, is gonna tell you their side. But I think I said that earlier. Is the truth is always somewhere down the middle.
Well, what do you think, though? What is your opinion?
I think that it goes back to what you said, is that that the Showtime has the bigger, wider reach. I mean, I don't think it's that hard to understand.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that fight,
well, apparently it is, Frank.
What?
And it's hard to understand.
It is hard to understand if you listen to certain things all day. I would get it. It's like, when your friends try to tell you a girl's no good, and you're like, nah, bro, she's the best, and they're like, bro, bro, no.
Oh, geez. Famous last words, man.
Right, bro.
Dude. Oh, gosh. You know what, James? I've been through that also, brother, where people are telling me, oh, dude, she's no good. And I'm like, no, you just don't know her like I do. Well, they were right.
Yeah, you just don't know her like I do.
And they're like, yeah, thank God I don't know her like you do. Chingao, dude.
Or they're like, bro, trust me, I do know her. I know a guy who knows her too. But yeah, man, I mean, you just kind of got to be objective when it comes to these things. The numbers, like you said, the numbers are right there for people to figure what Eddie Hearn is talking about or what he's not talking about. It's always easy to throw somebody under the bus. And that's what I don't like about the Bud Spence thing is somebody always wants to throw somebody under the bus instead of looking at the data and the numbers. And like
Well, look,
what
and
you
I
do is
think,
talk the business of business of boxing.
yeah, the business of boxing, like it trumps everything, right? And that's why we always profess the business on this channel. But I think Peter has the beat here. He said, look, I don't think Ryan can make well, it was actually a 136-pound catch weight, which in my mind wasn't realistic either. But he says, I don't think Ryan can make 136 and Tank isn't going to 40. Just my opinion. You know what? So with that said, Peter, you have to question whether or not both parties were both feet in this negotiation anyway. Right? James, what do you think, brother? Do you think both parties actually wanted this fight to happen?
I can't say anything with full confidence, given who.
Dude, come on, man. Just tell us. No.
Hey, remember, like, you have sources, I have sources, and as of like a few weeks ago, we all thought it was all but done for both sides.
I did. I genuinely did. I genuinely didn't think that the zone was there were gonna be sticklers in this situation because they have so much more to gain, right? With their man winning, right? I mean, dude, come on. You've got less than 1 million subscribers in the US and less than 8 million worldwide. Why wouldn't you want your fighter to appear on a bigger platform, knowing that he's going to come back home in his next fight? Why wouldn't you want that?
Yep.
Chingao, guys. But that's just about it, guys. And we're about the 2 hour and 30-minute mark. How's that? Guys, Frank, James, thank you so much for being a part of my happy birthday celebration, brother. And once again, if you guys would like to make a donation to the amateur boxing scene in South Texas, please do so at this time. And just think of it as a birthday present, right? For the hardworking amateur fighters in South Texas at WAWR Week, right? God bless all of you guys. James, you have any parting shots? Where can we reach you, sir?
Of course, through the Boxing Source on YouTube and through whatever you use for listening to podcasts. The podcast is available through all of those platforms. So that's where you could catch me. And I'll have something there for you, Joseph, after the show, because I just discovered something from the previous week, and I'm kind of like mad at myself because I could have done something last week.
What happened? Spill the beans, brother. Come on.
Well, in the movements that I've been making during work last week, I was actually in San Antonio.
You were in San Antonio, didn't hit me up. Yeah. Shame on you, brother.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Dude, we could have had a good time, my friend.
Yeah, man.
Well, I tell you what, next time you're in this area, please look me up, man. We would have a great time in San Antonio.
No doubt.
Like, I would take you to all the boxing gyms. Yeah. And it's a shame you're not going to be here this weekend because we've got Robert Garcia's promotion this Saturday. I'm going to be ringside. Yeah. Going to be a lot of fun. But James, seriously, when you're in the South Texas area, please hit me up, brother.
Gotcha. Will do.
Dude, you're a good man. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to the Boxing Source. James is a great guy, and he does great work, and he's an asset to the boxing business. God bless you, James, and thank you for being a part of my birthday celebration, my friend. Big Frank, your parting shots, brother. Where do we find you, my friend?
You can find me on Twitter. It's Frank Bay Niner. That's a 9, the numeral Niner. I do have a channel, but I don't have any content, but I do plan on. So if you hit me on Twitter, maybe I'll start making some videos or something, talking how much I love boxing.
Well, and how much you hate the fans.
Oh yeah, and I hate the fans. I hate the
No, I'm
fans.
kidding. Look, Frank, if you come up with if you decide to pull the trigger on the original content, please keep me involved, man. I would love to be a part of your
Oh
videos as well.
yeah, I got some ideas now, and that's what Twitter's good for, is because if people are listening and hit me up there, I'm always open to ideas. I don't ever like to shoot anybody's ideas down. I guess the thing I always see is people get called a casual, but I mean that's how everybody starts. You start as a casual boxing fan, just wanting to know more. So that's why I love doing these shows. Like I said, I always learn every time I tune into your show, and I learn even other shows. I learn what not to do. So there's that part. And I watch James'
especially
show.
if you're,
James
especially
has
if
a
you
great
listen
show.
to, especially if you listen to Ringworm, man. Yeah, then you know what not to do. Yeah.
And it's just fans that are, I don't, and again, like every fan is a good fan. It's just, man, you want to get right information. You want to listen and talk to people who are going to lead you in the right direction. Like I may not know, but I'll say, hey, my guy, WAWR Week Radio. You probably see me do it. I say, hey, man, listen to this guy. You can get some good information.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it, brother.
And just watching yours, I seen James. So I said, hey, man, James is a good source. So, that's just how you learn. So, that's what I try to do. So, yeah, man, please talk to me.
You know what? God bless you, brother. And you know what? I love you guys both. And thank you for being here while I get toasted on my birthday celebration. God bless you both. Guys, on behalf of JR and behalf of Big Frank, I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to WAWR Week Radio. Have a great evening, everybody.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows